Let the drums roll. Wole Soyinka, Nobel laureate, has challenged Datti Baba, vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, LP, to a live debate on national television. On March 22nd, in an interview with Channels TV, Ahmed Datti said the country has no president-elect despite the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, an institution backed by the law, announced Bola Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress, APC, as the winner of the election. According to Ahmed Datti, he said there was no election at all. In fact, he said Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the right candidate and INEC is not a body, an institution of integrity. And in this, he came to a conclusion and said Bola Ahmed Tinubu would not be sworn in. The Labour Party vice presidential candidate said again, Tinubu will be leading an unconstitutional government if sworn in into office because the APC candidate has not met the requirements of the law. Now, this interview elicited criticism from political stakeholders as well as a 5 million fine has been placed on the TV station channels. Now, reacting in a chat with Arise Television on Wednesday, Professor Wole Soyinka said the remarks are a kind of do or die attitude and provocative, that this goes contrary to a democratic disposition. Said, how will Ahmed Datti claim to be a democratic animal, democratic person, if he has the guts to come out on TV to say a particular candidate will not be sworn in, a particular candidate will not be sworn in, there will be war, a particular candidate will not be sworn in. He said this indicates that we are here to arrive close to the door of democracy. He added that the Labour Party vice presidential candidate tried to dictate to the supreme arbiter of the nation, adding that it was unacceptable. However, Wole Soyinka's statement has earned him criticism and abuse from obedience, especially on social media platforms. Yes, when I busted this story out, I saw the reactions, I saw comments and vituperations. I saw people saying that he should shut his mouth up and that he knows nothing. Well, maybe he knows or he doesn't know. Today, we are going to find out, because Nobel laureate condemned the fine slammed on Channel television for hearing the incisive interview with Labour Party vice presidential candidate. But Soyinka said he will be willing to engage Datti or Obi or any of his nominee on whatever platform. He said exactly these words: on this very bone of contention, one-on-one, without the malodorous intervention of media trolls and with the same interviewer as mediator. He said, may I seize this opportunity, by the way, to condemn the sanctions imposed on China's television, which anchored the performance of the Labour Party candidate. As stated, I watched the program keenly, saw the valiant efforts of the interviewer to ensure fair hearing. I failed to understand just where the station should be faulted, except from a disposition for injustice. To sustain that penalty is to give joy to others who turn internet into a soccer way for their rancid emissions, yet feel that others should be silenced. If Channels feels up to it, I offer myself willing to engage Mr. Datti or any of his nominee, Peter Obi, whoever, on its platform on this very bone of contention, one-on-one, without any intervention of media trolls. We will face each other head to head. I will debate him. Now, he said that this offer should be taken seriously. Project Nigeria, I must confess, has become near terminally soul-searing. Do I still believe in it? I am no longer certain. But first, we must rid ourselves of the tyranny of the ignorant and opportunism of time savers. In any case, there is not much else to engage one on a foundation of ownership stakes. There is, of course, always a possibility of a revolution with a clarity of purpose and acceptance of all attendant risk, including costly errors. Yes, even Omoyele Sowore got himself involved in this and he faced the risk and, of course, errors along the pathway. Revolution is not a joke. He went on to say revolutions are not, however, based on the impetus of speculative power entitlement. It belongs to me. No, in fact, people who spearhead revolution do not want to become the president or the head of any institution or government. Their own job is to push, to wake up the sleeping giants in the people. And in reality, Wole Soyinka is actually saying certain things that make sense, but I am sure you don't want to accept everything. If you believe that Peter Obi won the election, and did Peter Obi win? Did Bola Ahmed Tinubu win or not? How do you go about reclaiming your mandate? Is it by chaos, anarchy, riot, or war? This is the question I want to throw out to you out there. He went on to say, no matter until that moment, the structures that ensure just and equitable cohabitation must be protected from partisan appropriation, be it from material inducement, fake news, or verbal terrorism. The last being the contribution of one who is positioned to assume co-leadership of the nation. No less, revolution is not about lining up behind the nearest available symbol. When a symbol does emerge, however, we are obliged to examine every aspect of what is fortuitously on offer and continue to guard our freedoms every inch of the way. Simply put, let us break the grammar down. Even as a revolutionary activist, you must reflect. You must reflect at each step of the journey. If Datti is saying Bola Tinubu did not win the election, he has a right to. If he is saying INEC has not been an institution of integrity, he has the right to say it. But saying there will be war if Bola Ahmed Tinubu gets sworn in, if this, talking about anarchy does not make sense. You know why? The same Datti had the same issue when he contested in his own locality, in his own state. Eventually, the case was taken to the court and he accepted the ruling of the tribunal, of the court. And they are asking the same question from him. Why is it difficult to accept now? Well, the situation surrounding the past in his political journey might not be, the situation surrounding that particular injunction, that particular judgment from the court might not be the same with this right now. But saying there will be war, anarchy, is craziness. Because none of the children of Datti or Peter Obi or anyone at all will be there when the war begins. They will be outside of Nigeria. And Soyinka also said the attacks against him for criticizing Datti Yusuf Baba for insisting that the Supreme Court must rule in the party's favor justifies his earlier comment that fascism was taking over the political arena. And what is fascism? Simply put, in this situation, in context, it simply means a particular party who wants to behave in a dictatorship manner, autocratic manner. They want to talk about themselves alone. They want it for themselves alone. They want to be in power for themselves alone. And any voice of dissent, any other person, either on social media or physically available, they will crush you with whatever they have. This is fascism. He said, it would appear that a record discharge of toxic sludge from our notorious smut factory is currently clogging the streets and sewers of the Republic of Liars. It goes to prove the point that provoked the avalanche. Exactly, the seeds of incipient fascism in the political arena have evidently matured. I've only broken the grammar at the beginning to you. What he's saying, what he's simply saying is that if you have been declared a winner and if you have been declared a loser by an institution backed up by law, if you believe that you have been robbed, take your case to the court, keep it there, walk in towards that pathway of the law and push and push. If you come out to say there will not be a swear-in, you cannot be the vice president of Nigeria, neither can you be the president of Nigeria unless you have signs of dictatorship in you or you're already into this. Someone said this, and we know where it comes from. Buhari, he said, if he does not become president, if things does not change, if that and that does not happen, Nigeria will be better than or worse than Rwanda. Maybe it is Daura that will be worse. He said this and, somehow, luckily, because this is Nigeria, he was able to become president with the support of certain elements, not just Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He became president of Nigeria. And we saw all, and still we are seeing what happened and what is still going to happen before the final swearing. We saw it and we are still seeing it. We know where it comes from. Military background, dictatorship. They know nothing better. But for Datti, Peter Obi, or anyone at all, or even Tinubu, whoever, coming out to speak in such a manner, then you cannot be part of a political party. You cannot be gunning for a seat and shouting blood, blood, blood. People will be afraid, wondering, if you get in, won't you end up in the same wavelength? Won't you continue saying, if this does not happen, this is going to happen? Or is this just coming from, we are angry, our mandate has been stolen, we might not even get justice from the court, so we want it by force? Now, we need to be very careful and guided. It is a thin line between you saying they stole something from me and I want it back, and the proof of they stole it from you might be difficult for you to present. And some other people have explained further on how elections are, carried out and what you have to win. It's not just about having the highest number alone. You need to fulfill some other conditions by scoring a particular percentage all over the states in Nigeria. And they said Bola Ahmed Tinubu got this. How true it is, I don't know. I did not count it. I am not the umpire that has been backed up by the law. I think to put all of this to rest, the Constitution needs to be looked into and revisited so that we will not have cases like this. What are your thoughts? Like, share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're new here.